you knocked over my beer. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, fuck you. Oh.
Mic check. 1, 2. Yo. Welcome to the Blue Dreamer broadcast. This is a portion of the broadcast that I'm now calling Blue Speak. This is an interview with different artists of all types. This time I have on a very good friend of mine, Mr. Chris Brunner, aka Meek Glow. Say what's up.
What up?
What up?
What up, everyone?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Respect.
It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. First time.
Yeah.
So, how's things, man? How's life?
Everything's good, man. You know, got some stuff to handle, you know, like all of us, but
For sure.
putting one foot in front of the other, getting from here to there, you know, kind of deal.
That's right. Yeah, so I've known Chris for almost decades.
Yeah.
At least one, if not almost two.
Shoot, I'd say we probably met in 2000 or 2001.
Yeah. And
in El Cajon,
yeah,
where I live nowadays.
Yeah. I remember going to see your band practice. What was the band again?
At the time, we were called Sera, S-E-R-A.
Yes. And I was homies with Kenny. I mean, I feel like I love Kenny and I've known Kenny a long time, but I can't remember what really brought me. It had to be Kenny.
Yeah. Kenny was the one who like brought you over.
Right.
And he's the one that introduced us. And it was cool is that like me, you and Kenny are still great friends to this day.
Yeah, exactly. He was our first musical guest on when I was doing the podcast with Alec, the Third Side podcast. And so that was our introduction. We hit it off, and I had a bong in my backpack. It was like, oh shit, that's it, party on, dude. It's like, so definitely we've been connected ever since. And we connected on a lot of like conspiracy stuff, and you know, definitely music was heavy. And, you know, just different. I think you and I just have alternative, quote unquote, alternative viewpoints on everything, you know, on life in general. And I think that really plays into the relationship, obviously, because we're still here. We're still hanging out. We're still talking what we talk, you know. And it means a lot. It really does, you know. And to see the way things are in the world and, you know, whatever people's mentalities and viewpoints and, you know, whatever was out there. You and I just are pretty consistent.
Yeah.
At least with each other, you know?
Yeah, we've been, you know, through the years, we've been there for each other and you know, our growth and where our music has gone, where our minds have gone, you know. You're definitely one of the most important people and my bro, you know, and
for sure.
It's been a fun life.
Yeah, fun trip, man. Yeah. Interesting trip, that's for sure. Yeah, so you were playing guitar in Sera. Were you playing anything before that? Was there another band before Sera?
Yeah, I've been playing in bands since I was like 15, but nothing that really like, you know, took off, or you know, nothing that was like stable. I never had like a stable lineup until the band Cavenna that I was in for like 8 years. And so I've been playing for.
So where did it all start? Where was the first time guitar came, or just music in general, but like guitar too? Like, did you grow up with a lot of music around you? Like
my parents. Well, I'm originally from Monterey, California, and those that know like Jimi Hendrix music, he burned his guitar on stage at the Monterey Pop Festival. Right. And so I'm from Monterey, and I was raised to love music by my family, my parents, and I saw Tower of Power, a legendary band on that same stage at the Monterey Fairgrounds. And my Aunt Ruth, she let me hold up one of their early album covers.
Yeah.
And she told me to stick my hand out, and the singer gave me a high five.
Oh, that's dope.
I must have been like 6 or 7 years old. And
he's the only surviving member, right? I think to this day.
I don't know.
Or he might have just passed, but I think he was the only surviving. I think he's still the only surviving member.
One of the horn players is like the guy who's keeping it going.
Okay, for sure.
But that's what, that was my first like conscious memory.
Yeah.
But down the line, my mom had told me that like in the early 80s, they were friends. My parents were friends with like a Van Halen tribute band. And that they actually looked similar to the Van Halen guys.
Yeah.
And that they would come over to our house and we would see them on TV while they're hanging out in the living room with us. And my mom kind of tricked me into thinking I was friends with Van Halen.
That's funny, dude. I never heard that.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
I really
You're
was.
like, I know those fools, dude.
Yeah, those are my homies. They come to the
on the record, bro? I know those fools. Dude. They come and kick it all the time, dude. That's funny.
My mom brought me around a lot of music. I saw Candlebox. If you guys remember that 90s band.
Yeah.
I remember she took me to Candlebox when I was like in 6th grade. And I remember thinking, once it started, I covered my ears. I'm like, it's too loud. What's wrong with all you people? and, the
What's
joke
that
was on
smell. Oh, jeez.
the joke was on me getting into music.
That's
and,
funny.
Getting my eardrums ruptured or whatever.
Yeah. So what tipped you towards guitar? Like,
well, I grew up, I was born in 81, so I was a child of the 80s, and I grew up liking.
Aren't we all?
I first liked, pop, R&B, and rap music, but my first CD was actually Crisscross, and then I had Snoop Doggy Dogg's Doggy Style. I had cassettes before that, but those were like my first CDs.
Yeah.
And then when Green Day and Offspring and Nirvana came out and Stone Temple Pilots, those were like my first rock bands. Those were my first like albums. And I had the first Stone Temple Pilots cassette.
Yeah.
And my Walkman going to school. That was like when I became a rocker. I was like into rap and stuff before. And then when the 90s came around. Yeah. And that's part of how that rap rock thing took off, because for guys like us, it wasn't like a trend to get into. It was like, that was how we grew up. So it was natural for us.
Yeah.
Well,
interesting. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning
of
that.
A natural process. It was like, what do you expect? What the fuck? That's what we were listening to. I mean, how could we not mash it all together?
Right.
That's funny.
It was kind of inevitable for our time and place. And so, I wanted to play music earlier. I wanted to play drums, and...
Who made you want to play drums? Because I remember, because I was the same. Oh, Trey Cole. Yeah, dude, Trey Cole's the man, bro.
Yep.
He's always been the man. Because he played such like, not spastic, but very just up-tempo shit. Mm-hmm. But he was just always in the same posture, and he was like a clown, dude. He was silly with it. I loved him too, dude. That's funny, dude.
Yeah, but I never got my hands on an instrument at that time. But then at the end of freshman year, I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers in concert. Nice. That was the Dave Navarro era.
Yeah. My favorite fucking Chili Peppers era, by the way.
It was a great era.
One Hot Minute, bro. I'm all about that album. I love that album.
And that concert really blew my mind, and I wanted to be a bass player. I wanted to be like Flea.
Oh, for sure.
So I signed up for guitar class, trying to, I asked the teacher, like, hey, if I got a bass, would you teach me? And she was like, well, yeah, but sign up in the meantime, until you get a bass, and we'll get you on guitar. And I just stuck with guitar. I never got a bass. And, I will say that, like, I am really thankful that people responded to my guitar playing, because there's a lot of guitar players in this world.
Oh, yeah.
But
there's a lot of musicians.
There's a lot of musicians in this world. And I don't really know why, but I am thankful that I've had, some support from people, and it kind of blows my mind, because
for sure
I really just did what I did and didn't really like think too hard about it, but it's been a great life, meeting my bros like you and Kenny, and
I think honestly, it's an inherent thing that the way that we manipulate sound in any medium, in any way, in any fashion, in any form. It's natural. It's a natural thing. Like, we're just smooth with our shit, dude. Like, period. You know what I mean? And I know that from experience, and I know that from learning from others. Like, when you were in Cavenna, like, I'd always be there because I was just like, dude, you're fucking dope. Like, I was like your number one fan. You know what I mean? Like, for real. But because I saw what you were doing, and it was a natural thing to me. It wasn't forced. So you started playing guitar. So how long until you actually like played with other people, like got into a band type situation? Or actually, how did you start playing guitar, and then what? Like,
I started, for a lot of guys, going to church.
Yeah.
I was in a Christian band. That was like my very first band.
Crazy, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I must have been like 16 years old, and
For sure.
We didn't even have a name or anything, but that was like our first practice space, because you could get loud in church,
Yeah.
There's usually a drum set there.
Yeah.
And so my friend...
And it sounded good.
Yeah. Acoustics and stuff.
Yeah.
And, church is a good like environment for musicians, because everybody plays, it kind of goes with the territory of it,
Yeah. I went to a church right down the street, not too far from here, St. Pius, and my favorite part about going to church was the band.
There you go.
And I remember there was a female singer, and she played guitar, and she was so dope, dude. And I was just watching her be like, she had a dope voice. She fucking played acoustic and sang, and like she would just project. I was like, this is dope. Nice. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, it's religious music. I was like, I don't give a fuck, bro. She's fucking rocking, bro.
Exactly.
That's all I care about.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, but yeah, that's what matters most is the vibe, and that's what's great about music. It bridges gaps, and connects people, brings people together in a unified rhythm, and everybody's kind of locking in. At a good concert that you're feeling, everybody's like on the same page and
That's
like
right.
feeling it and
High-fiving and shit.
Yeah. So I was totally into that. I started out as a fan, and I just wound up on the other side of the stage, basically. And So
what was the first band you're in? Like, past church, what was the next step? Like,
I had been jamming with dudes, I was in Sacramento at the time, and
when did you start finding your sound? Because that's also part of the evolution of becoming a musician, an expressionist, I would say.
I guess we've talked about this before. A lot of sounds are described with like colors. Like the blues is the most known, but there's the brown sound. That Eddie Van Halen sound.
Yep.
He supposedly has the brown sound.
Right.
And the orange sound. Orange guitar amplifiers. That British Invasion kind of sound, and then black metal for that dark heavy stuff.
Yeah, that's like rectifier shit is the black.
I kind of if we're to describe sounds like colors, I play the grays. The gray sound, and Sacramento and Northern California, where I'm originally from. The local scene definitely had the gray sound with like Deftones and Far and Cake and early Papa Roach, and there's some other local bands like Filibuster is a band that
I know.
I love them. Like,
dude, that's so funny. Just sorry, but like you say gray sound, and I think of a Carvin for some reason.
Well, I have a great Carvin guitar.
I just say, but I remember those Carvins that had that kind of like gray, like almost carpeted type, like old school with the old school Carvin, fucking with the line under it. And
see, you knew about Carvin before I did, because they're from San Diego, and you were here
only because I saw them at the shops that I would go to. I didn't know like in depth what, but I saw a lot of good gear. You know what I mean?
I heard a rumor that Carvin actually used to be in El Cajon a long time ago.
I think so.
That's a trip.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Which is why you're so connected, bro.
Yeah, and we weren't planning on bringing this up, but man, probably like a year or two ago, you had asked me like, hey dude, would you play a solo on one of my songs? I'm like, dude, I don't even have a guitar right now. And you were like taken back by that, like, dude, you're one of my favorite guitar players.
It's like, how dare you?
And you gave me some money to go put a down payment,
Yeah.
and I went up to Kiesel that day, and I ran into Jeff Kiesel, and he signed my guitar.
Yeah.
And so I have a made in San Diego guitar, and
Yeah.
it's gray, signed by the guy, and my homie helped me out.
Yeah, it was blasphemy. How dare you, man? How dare you play guitar fucking dope as fuck and not have a guitar, dude? What's your problem, man? How dare you? I'm just kidding.
No, but
Yeah.
for the listeners out there,
Yeah.
my life got redirected. I got into paranormal and conspiracy for a while, and I did that for about 8 years, and I tried to do music at the same time, and that
Yeah.
was the band Terrans we had going for
Yeah.
like almost 3 years.
Yeah.
But that was just it was hard because paranormal and conspiracy is obviously controversial, and
Yeah.
it tugged on a lot of people's fabric. When
Sure.
when you're in a band, you kind of live in each other's shoes, and,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm retired from paranormal now. I've done that to my heart's content,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to get back into music now, and
Yeah.
which is why we're doing
Well,
this.
that's
here.
why we're talking about it, man.
Yep.
Okay, so when was Sarah? Sarah was
like the early 2000s.
early 2000s. Yeah, because that's when you and I really started connecting.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come about?
Kenny.
Kenny, yeah.
Yeah, I met, man.
Did you jam? Did you used to jam with Kenny before?
I jammed with Kenny. He was the one, Kenny really changed my life in a way, because like I had met him. Man, if I'm going to take it way
Yes,
back.
please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I moved to San Ysidro, which is a part of San Diego,
from
Sacramento in July of
a lot of Mexicans down there.
Yep. I
It's as close to TJ as you could get to California. Basically.
Definitely. You can see it in the horizon.
Yeah.
Well, like my friends in the apartments, I didn't speak any Spanish. I'm half Mexican, but I look white.
Yeah.
And my last name is a white last name. But like my friends in the apartments, they're like, dude, I think you'd fit in more with Imperial Beach in Mar Vista. So I took their advice, and instead of going to Southwest High School, I went to Mar Vista for senior year.
Yeah.
And I remember the first day.
There's a lot of Mexicans in Mar Vista too, though, bro.
True.
But they're like surfer type, like,
True.
because I knew a lot of fools.
And there's a lot of rockers at Southwest, and I wound up hanging out with them after high school. Like,
exactly.
Well, like Jacob Vaughn, it was a guy who he played in a band called Sickwise.
Dude, I remember that.
Yeah,
name. Wow.
yeah,
How do I remember that name?
So I went to
Interesting.
school with Jacob.
Crazy.
And Sickwise's bass player Victor went to a trade school in downtown, and Kenny was a Chula Vista guy,
Yeah.
and they went to that school. And so Kenny at the time was in the band Outlet, and so Outlet and Sickwise became friends, and I was like friends with Sickwise, and so I started jamming with Kenny. We tried to get the Sarah thing going, but
Yeah.
I was really young, and I made some mistakes and stuff, and nothing really like came of it. And but that was like how I met them, and Kenny introduced me to a lot of Chula Vista, because I was the new kid in town, and that's how I met you. And
so you were still in the South?
I was still in the South.
Okay,
and,
at that time.
Cavenna got together in 2004, and coincidentally, man, this is another like
Go ahead.
This is another like trippy like story, but like the band Sprung Monkey, San Diego legends,
Yes,
toured the world, major label band, and like I had heard of them before moving to San Diego, and their song "Get 'Em Out of Here" is like "Sweet Home San Diego."
Yes,
so that was kind of our
that
theme
was
song,
the anthem, yeah.
right? And we
Yeah.
were moving here at the time, so it was like for me and my family, it was like a sign,
Yeah.
Well, like years later, I had met Will Riley from Sprung. He was in
Guitarist.
he was in another band called Media Lab at the time, and I'd gone to their shows and met him. And Will got a job where I worked at Taylor Guitars afterwards. And I told him, "Oh, hey, dude, I just saw I met you at a Media Lab show a couple weeks ago." I said, "Oh, what's up, dude?" And our rehearsal space. I'm still at this rehearsal space all these years later to this day, but like he started coming to our rehearsal space and seeing Cavenna. We weren't playing out yet. We were still getting our first batch of songs together and getting our sound together.
Yeah.
And he was hanging out with us, and Sprung Monkey had reunited because they were broken up for a few years, and he was playing in Media Lab, and those guys, the bass player and drummer from Sprung Monkey, were in a band with Marcos from POD called Accident Experiment.
Oh, I remember that too.
So this was that era. I met POD and Marcos when they weren't even in Sprung or POD, but
Right.
they both like reunited, and when Sprung Monkey got back together, they were playing a bunch of shows, and they had like an acoustic set at Scatterbeans in Viejas, which is like a Starbucks, and Steve Summers at the time was a sound guy at Kane's, which was a legendary San Diego
Kane's
venue.
was the shit, bro.
Rest
I
in
miss
peace,
that
Kane's.
place. Yeah, I miss that place so much.
Kenny used to work there.
I love that place, bro.
Like, so we were looking for our first gigs, and Kane's was we were trying to aim high. We wanted to get in at Kane's.
For sure. That was the spot to me.
That was the spot.
That was the spot.
So many good memories there.
Yeah.
Well,
I love Soma, but like to me, Kane's just, I think a lot more artists, big name artists played there because it was right by the beach.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But like Soma was my home, but Kane's was like going out on a Friday, Saturday night. Like that was like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like that was that spot for me, dude.
What? All right, here's a little piece of San Diego lore. I think what is it? Kyle from Slightly Stupid. I don't know those guys or anything, but
For sure.
But we had played in OB a lot, and my friend Nikki was going out with like Kyle's brother's friend or something. So Kyle's brother and her boyfriend and her, they used to go to our shows. And when we played at Kane's, and I remember like my friend Jeremiah like got in a fight with him on the bike path.
Oh, wow.
And like I broke it up, and I'm like, dude, you and like Slightly Stupid just got in a fight, and like they didn't know who each other were.
He's like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, and I'm friends with both of them. Like I'm the one that had to break it up, and I'm just thinking in the back of my mind, like, wow, what an amazing memory. And well, like,
well, I remember going to see Bad Brains there.
That's awesome.
When they played there, it was like one of the last times. I think it was the last time they played in San Diego, and like basically, like the rumor was the HR was homeless.
Oh yeah,
and he was like literally sleeping on the beach. And I swear to God, he rolled up on stage with like a sleeping bag, threw it down, and then they just started fucking playing. I was like, God damn, I think he really was sleeping on the fucking beach, dude. Like it was crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, so we were trying to get our first gigs at Kane's, and we went just as fans of Sprung Monkey. We went to that Vieja show at the Scatterbeans, and while we were walking there, we saw Steve Summers in line getting some food because we were there early. The show hadn't started yet, and I introduced myself to him because I hadn't met him yet, and I go, "Hey man, I'm friends with Will. I heard you sound guy for Kane's. We're trying to get our first gigs. We're starting out, and could I maybe pass a demo to you and pass it on to the right guy? I didn't even know how this even works. I never did a gig in my whole life,
right?
And he's like, yeah, do you have the demo on you? And we're like, oh, it's in the car. So we went and grabbed it and gave it to him. And Steve was always like real cool with me. He was always real cool with me, real good dude. And he's like, oh, right on, dudes. I'll pass this on. I'm about to eat. The band's already set up. I'll see you guys a little later. I'm like, all right, cool. So when we walk over to Scatterbeans, the place is packed, and Ernie's behind his drum set, Will's in front of his amp, and everybody's at their instrument, and Will goes, hey dude, how do you play that one riff of yours? And he kind of sings it to me, and it was actually from the song called Photon.
Yeah.
On the first Cavenna album.
Photon.
Yeah, he's like dee. And I knew exactly what he was. And he gave me his guitar, dude, in front of everybody. And
That's
it was
sick.
Dude, I was like Rudy Rudiger making that one tackle for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I never played that riff so perfect in my life except that time, dude. I put all my soul into it.
That's
and like
sick.
Everybody was watching because nobody knew who I was. It's like, why did Will just give this dude this guitar? And like, dude, I played it with all my heart and soul. And like in the middle of that, Steve the singer that I had just met earlier, he's walking up in the middle of it, and he walks up to me and he goes, this is what he says, dude. And he works for him. Okay, this is why it's so funny. He goes, fuck Canes. You want to open for Sprung this Saturday?
Yeah.
And dude, like my heart was just like boom, boom, boom. And Will heard it, and Will was like, he saw the excitement in my eyes. He's all easy, Bucky. You know, like, he knew I was about to like jump out of my skin. And so I played at
fuck yeah.
Now it's called the 710 Club in PB, but at the time it was Blind Melons.
Yes.
And that was coincidentally my favorite band, Salmon. They had played at Blind Melons the last time they had come to San Diego. So that was definitely like cool too. And it was a sold out show and a bunch of, you know, Sprung was popular. So like we met a lot of the active people in the scene from that show. And it was a great first, like my first time on stage was opening for a sold out Sprung Monkey show.
Hell yeah.
And I'm not even from San Diego at the time. Like I'm a transplant.
Yeah.
And dude, like
That's
I got
funny.
to tell my mom about it. She remembers the song and like the story of us moving here and like couldn't believe it.
That's sick. It was destined, bro. It was destiny, bro.
Yeah. You know, I've been fortunate to have a lot of like
those kind of moments, right?
those kind of moments. Like I was friends with Dexter from Offspring. I had met him and became his pen pal, and he wrote me back, and I actually like flaked on him. Like I quit writing him back when I moved to San Diego, and I got to go, you know, this was like in the Around the Fur era in Sacramento. Stefan, the guitar player, was friends of friends, and I got to go to Deftones' rehearsal space, and I didn't even realize how big Deftones were
with the skate ramp and all that shit.
The skate ramp, the first half pipe I'd ever been on was in their warehouse.
Fuck yeah.
And I didn't realize how big Deftones were until I moved to San Diego, and I saw, you know, people down here were really into them. And so that was, you know, I got a lot of like little stories like that where like you could do this. I mean, you've talked to people and you talk to them like regular people,
right?
And
exactly.
So that like impossibility that a lot of people imagine is there wasn't there for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's funny because I think of when people interview artists and they're just like, I'm just a normal dude, like, and I think it's the perception that comes from the fan that's just like, but no, dude, like, because they're so enamored with their style, with their delivery, you know, whatever it is, it's like you can't help but to gush, and then you're just like, but no, you're extraordinary. They're like, no, bro, like I pay rent, I fucking shit,
I got
shit in the toilet, I got problems, bro. Like we're the same, we're not different.
Exactly. I guess that brings up a good point. Like, you can't play the blues if you don't have the blues, and like. Music that's going to be worthwhile comes from an interesting life, you know, a meaningful life, and staying true to what you feel, and betting on yourself in a sense, and believing in your taste. And, you know, something I kind of admire about like women is that I've noticed that they kind of stay true to their taste more than guys. I mean, not like a overarching thing, but like when a woman really likes something, she likes it no matter what. Where I've noticed like guys are kind of more breezy about it. Like if everybody hates a band, a guy will be like, oh well, I don't like that band anymore either. Where like a girl will be like, I don't care, I like it.
I think a lot of that has to do with emotions, and men tend to suppress their emotions.
True.
And as being one that definitely does not suppress his emotions, I can understand why, because women are very emotional, you know, and that's something I've had to learn to kind of like deal with, but I don't give a fuck, you know.
I think
that's what makes me me, so I gotta like represent, you know.
I think a lot of like people could take
like
note
the whole
from
machismo shit is just, you know what I mean,
like, and being image conscious, like, oh, that band, you know, that was an 80s band and we're in the 90s now, so we don't like Def Leppard no more, or whatever, where a chick will still bump Iron Maiden, you know, she'll stay 80s through the 90s and things like that, and a lot of guys are hoe bags like that and sell out, you know. True. And so that's
but I think it's an emotional attachment type thing, you know what I mean? And I think guys feel it, they just do it. They're just like, no, fuck that shit, fuck that, fuck those bitches, fuck that shit. It's like, no, bitch, they're fucking sick as fuck. Like, come on, dude, don't front, dude, don't front. You know,
I remember, you know, I lived in San Ysidro too, and this was when POD was getting big, and I didn't know who they were. I mean, you guys did. You guys grew up here around them.
Well, they would play at our high school. They would play at Hilltop.
That's
shit.
awesome.
And I would fucking see stickers on people's fucking lockers and shit. So Payable on Death, when their first album came out, and it was the big hype at fucking Hilltop. So
That's
we knew
awesome.
who they were.
I remember,
and I saw them play at a church in Bonita when their Brown album came out, and they played on the fucking church stage in front of the altar and shit, and we sat in the pews and we're just sitting there. I was like, wow, I'm watching POD at a fucking church, and they're just rocking out, dude. And it was cool. It was dope, dude.
Yeah.
I was never a huge fan, but I was just like, all right, this is cool, like right on.
I remember, when the Southtown album, the music video came out, it was huge. It was on MTV and stuff, and they were on the IBP.
That was the break, bro. That was when they broke.
And I never met those dudes at that time. I met them later, but I remember there was a band, Agua Dulce. I know you've heard of those guys.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
They were friends with Marcos, and I remember I was kicking it at their pad.
I saw them in San Francisco when I lived in fucking San Francisco.
I went to the Agua Dulce's house.
They're fucking dope.
Yeah, that was another thing that like blew my mind, because they were tracking the album, Dante and Tizok, what's up, dudes?
Yeah,
they were tracking the album, and I remember, we were all smoking a joint outside, and they kind of, in a friendly, like loving way, Tizok's like, oh, I saw Marcos on MTV, and they were all kind of, a little light roast, but it was
they're like, fuck that bitch.
It wasn't like, that's not punk,
yeah.
But that was definitely a trip. And I was working at Taylor Guitars, which is up close to Santee, and there was a Santana High School shooting.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I went. Okay, how do I say this? My coworker Randy, he was the water polo coach for Santana High, but he was my coworker at Taylor Guitars also, and
Crazy.
We went to the taco shop right there on Cuyamaca, and I think it's like Gilberto's. I'm not sure, but like it's all about Estradas, by the way. But Gilberto's, me and Randy, we went there for lunch, and I saw Wuv, from the drummer from POD, standing in front of me, and he had tribal pants on, and people have tribal shirts, but you don't really see tribal pants too much.
No, you gotta be connected, bro.
Yeah. Tribal pants is
you
next
either have
level.
a tribal sticker on something, you have a tribal shirt, maybe a hat, but pants, definitely gotta be connected.
Yeah. And so that was that, and I knew his real name was like Noah, so I was like, Noah?
I didn't even know that. That's funny.
Yeah. and he turned around, and I met him, and while I was talking with him, he's all, yeah, dude, we're over here at Golden Track Studios getting ready to record, and I'm like, oh, cool, man. And then, like, when I'm talking to him, then the other three guys come in and sit down, and that was like my first time meeting them, and coincidentally, that was the day of the shooting, because when we get back to work after lunch, there's a call, to Randy saying water polo practice at Santana is canceled, and then later I saw that that POD's song "Youth of the Nation" was like a chart-topping song, and they had said that they had wrote it because of the Santana High School shooting.
Wow.
They were in the studio, and they wrote it that day because they were
interesting
right next to it. And I met them that day.
That's crazy.
That's
interesting. Wow.
So that's another, little
story. Synchronicity.
Yeah.
Crazy. Wow. Interesting, man.
I met Warren G once, the rapper.
What?
Yeah.
Like in real life?
In real life. I was at a trade show.
Crazy.
And I was passing out Cavenna CDs.
Fuck yeah, dude!
And I was faded.
So there you go.
I was faded. I probably shouldn't have been faded or
passing.
That's
all right.
CDs.
That's how you had to meet him. Bro.
I don't think he was allowed, but yeah. I don't know if Warren G's listened to this, but if he is, he's definitely gonna remember this, dude. Because like I'm walking around and I see him. But I think it was like Shure microphones at the time. It was like, he was like at a vendor booth signing, doing a meet and greet. And it was like behind Shure mics.
Was it NAMM or is it
it was a NAMM show.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure.
And oh man, I mean, I got more stories about
go ahead,
NAMM show. But like the
ahead.
Warren G one is the best because we're walking around and I'm faded, dude. I had the Liquid Courage going and like I see him and I walk right up to him, bro. Like I cut everybody. There's like a huge line around the corner, dude. And I pretend I don't even see the line, and like Warren G's security is about to like knock me the fuck out, dude. Like, oh, this is the one right here. Like they thought this was,
this
what they
boy's
signed
gonna
up.
get fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to make my paycheck.
They
right
were
now. Check
ready,
it.
dude. They were ready. But Warren G, he respected my grind, and he like brushed him off, and he dapped me up, dude. He's like, "What's up, little homie?" And he gave me a little
dude,
five and a
that's
fist bump.
sick,
and I gave him the CD. He's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "It's West Coast, dude." He's like, "Really?" I'm
West
like,
Coast
West
shit.
Coast, bro. And he's like, "Word, dude, I'll check it out." And I gave him a little like homie hug. And dude, there's like 100 pairs of dagger eyes just like,
Oh fuck,
like
dude, that's
cutting
so
me in
funny.
half, dude.
Oh
And-
my god, that's so funny, dude.
But that was, that was
yeah.
it. And like, man.
I think you just draw that respect. You draw that energy, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's true. That's why you're saying, you're like, people love my guitar playing. I don't know why. And I think it's just, you just got that energy about you. It's kind of I don't give a fuck, but like, not in a harsh way. You know? Like, if that makes sense.
I love you, but I don't give a fuck.
I do it the same way. I think I kind of shine the same way. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
because I'm on my own path. I'm thinking my own thoughts. And I feel bad because I feel like people don't talk to me because I think I have such a serious look on my face. But as soon as someone just comes up to me and is like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, hey," like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take much, but
once the ice is broken,
it doesn't happen that often. You know what I mean? And it's like, sometimes I think about it and I don't understand it, but at the same time, I don't question it. It's just, I just got a lot of shit going on in my head. You know what I mean? So I can't really explain it, but that's just the way it is, and I'm sure you carry, I think you're definitely more social than I am. You're more of a social butterfly than I am. Like,
well, I mean, you are too, but thank you.
I can be, but it's like, I think I've always got an agenda, and not in a like a demanding way, not in a I want something for myself way, but just in a way that's like, no, man, I'm trying to make some shit happen. You don't want some shit to happen? You don't want shit to, come on, man, let's make shit happen. Like, it's like, well, fuck. Well, if I'm the only one, then okay, then I'm the only one. But, not always true, but I'm just saying that's just kind of the feels that I get from the outside world inside,
And, I would kind of say that in my observation, like guys like you and,
sure.
and Kenny and my good homie Lawrence and my musician homies that I love, it seems to me like the best musicians are the ones that have the most love for music. The biggest fans are able to transpose that into meaningful music,
right?
Somehow, some way, and I don't really get it, but you don't need to. You don't need to understand all the nuances and intricacies to make use of something,
right.
Like you don't need to know how everything in a car works to drive a car,
right?
And you don't need to know how everything in a guitar, all the components in the electronics and stuff work to play a guitar, and I think that love and the appreciation, like the biggest fans make the best music,
right?
In my observation,
yeah, and it's fans for the music, even. In myself playing guitar, it's a fan of the instrument. It's a fan of people paying attention. You know what I mean? Like, I am a fan of all of that because I am a fan.
Exactly.
I have plenty of music that I listen to that I'm just like, that shit's sick, shit's sick, shit's sick. And if I happen to meet the person that created that shit, I'm just like, like, what's up, dude? That shit's dope. Like, just gush because I'm a fan, but I also create in that same mentality. Like, not that I'm expecting anyone to gush over me, but it's like, that's where the particulars of like, well, I want it to be like this. I want to like cut the edge, like, get all the rough edges off, like shine it up. Let's make it clean, like make it dope. Dude, it's gotta be dope, bro. Cause this shit I'm listening to is dope as fuck. My shit's got to be dope as fuck,
Yep.
But it also has to be my style.
Exactly.
Like, that's still something I'm still learning to embrace.
And you've got
my
a lot.
Style.
You've got a lot of stories of meeting people you look up to. Also, you were good friends with O.
Oh yeah.
And Jonah from Far. You've got a lot of stories.
Yeah, I've met people, in moments where I was just like, like, I'll talk to anyone if I feel it's like time to, like, I don't know how to explain it, because I'm not like a fanboy to where I'm like, oh my god, can I get your autograph? But I'm also like, because I want to be cool. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta be cool. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be, and I'm still going through that. But it's a respect thing. Mm-hmm. It's respect. It's like, no, dude, like, I respect what the fuck you do. Like, and that could be on any level of, that's why, like, with what I'm doing, like, I want to interview different artists, like people that do graffiti, people that take pictures, because when I see their art, I'm like attracted to it. And then I'm like, okay, I want to know what the fuck goes into doing that. Because I can't do what you do. But I get it. Because it's part of my style. Like, I feel it. So I want to, like, know the story,
That's what's up.
And that's my style. That is my style. That's part of my style,
Yeah, man. And
that's why I can't just jock anything.
Well,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, check out this. I've had friends just be like, oh, check out this song. And I'm like, okay. I'm already off, like, first 3 seconds. I'm like, I don't like it. But I don't want to be a dick. But at the same time, I will be a dick. Because that's just, I don't, it's like, I know what I want to hear and I know what I want to see, That's all, and I don't mean any disrespect, but that's just the way my mind and my heart, my soul works, That's just the way it works. It's the way it is.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, so let's play some music. Let's see.
All right.
We picked out some songs here. I asked Chris to show me, name some songs that inspired him in his guitar playing days and his early music days. So the first one you told me was "The Man Who Sold the World." So how did this come about? Like, why this song? Why? Because I remember when this album came out. I remember seeing it on MTV when fucking it first came out, and I was already deep into Nirvana at that point. Because, like, my favorite album at that point was Incesticide. Because it was just so different. It was so raw. Well, Bleach is actually my favorite Nirvana album. But Incesticide after that was kind of like, because In Utero was big at that point. I was like, In Utero's cool, but it was too polished for me. I wanted to hear some, like, rough, like some punk rock shit to me,
There you go.
And I think Incesticide was more punk rock, and fucking Bleach was metal to me in a way,
I wasn't, I love Nirvana now, but back in the day, they, I had a couple of their CDs, but my first guitar riff that I ever learned, I still remember the guy's name. It was David McKee. He had a guitar and he brought it around, and he taught me how to play that lead opening riff to "The Man Who Sold the World." Right. And like, I do like the song, but
it's just that riff, bro.
Yeah,
no, me too. I get it. It's
more the history, because like when I played that, I felt the power. It blew my mind. I'm like, dude, I've heard this song and it sounds exactly like it. Like, whoa, I learned how to actually play, and I felt powerful, you know, and so
and it's such a simple riff,
right?
It's one, it's one string, but I didn't even know it was a David Bowie song. Like, I didn't know any of the history behind it.
Actually, David Bowie covered it. Somebody,
okay, yes.
Somebody before David Bowie wrote it, and I just found that out like last year. I thought David Bowie wrote it, but yeah, that was how that started.
All right, let's check it. Classic. Even for Nirvana, man.
We passed upon the stairs, spoken wasn't well, although I wasn't there. He said I was his friend, which came as a surprise. I spoke into his eyes. I thought you died alone a long, long time ago. Oh no, not me. We never lost search for form and land.
And honestly, I think this was like my favorite song on this album, even though I didn't know where it came from. I think it was that riff that really like caught my attraction, just in the same vein, you know, like because they play about a girl on this one, and I was like, that's the first song I wanted to learn on guitar. But even the driving, like,
Little feedback squeal.
yeah, right on fucking time, dude. Oh shit. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's that one. Hell yeah. But I love that he's playing acoustic and he fucking ran distortion through it.
Yeah.
Like that was like, I had no idea, but I was like, that doesn't sound like a regular acoustic guitar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the thing is like, and that was so innovative. Mm-hmm. Not really. It was just, I don't know if that's what Kurt just wanted to do. He's like, fuck, I'm going to drive we're going to put an overdrive in front of this bitch for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah, that was an amazing performance.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, for sure. He was my first guitar teacher, man.
Yeah. I'm definitely a graduate from the Nirvana School of Songwriting, you know.
I'm still trying to do him justice, but, you know, I can't do it. All right, so the next song you picked was Enjoy the Silence. What is the story behind this?
Yeah, I have an eclectic taste like you
For
know,
sure.
and inspiration is where you find
All the great ones do.
Yep.
All right. I think it's the rhythm.
Yeah, there's got a soul vibe to it.
Yeah. And I love David Gahan's voice so much, dude. His voice is so sick. It's the blue. It's got the blue in it. Yep. You know what I mean? Like
the Failure remake is really good
that's
too.
The shit.
That is the shit. That's how I got into this song. I love both versions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you mean me to play the Failure version?
Oh, no. It's all good.
Well, I grew up listening to Depeche Mode because my brother would bump Depeche Mode all the time. Like, and it still influences me. I've never seen them live, you know, like, I don't think I would, especially now. Well, they're almost done, but even with this electronic music style, it's got groove to it. You know what I mean? It's got some kind of soul to it, you know? And then the last one you picked, of course, and this is what I'm sure anybody that fucking knows Chris knows. This is the band that fucking he exemplifies like the most. Well, one of the bands, but did we see them live together? I don't
think so.
No, I saw them. I think at the Warped Tour with Fluff and I think Deftones when they played at the Sports Arena. I'm pretty sure. I know I've seen them at least one Warped Tour or something, but fucking Pennywise.
Oh, I love Pennywise.
I know.
Shout out to Shamar and Antonio. I know you guys rock Pennywise with me.
Shout out to fucking Logan, man. Jesus.
Woke up this morning, hoping for a better day. Gotta make a change right now, gotta find a better way to come and tell the problems that they're piling up in my head.
So sick.
Dope as fuck.
Right now before I wind up dead. Wake up, my friend, someone's knocking at your door. Last chance for you, time to weave another score.
Where are they from?
So many reasons to
LA.
live in,
Oh, okay.
but you don't even try. Wake up and take back your life.
I saw Pennywise at a Warped Tour, and the singer goes, I want to see a circle pit from in front of the stage to behind the sound tent. And those who know about Warped Tour, that's far. This is like a stampede of punk rockers, like the biggest pit I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
Gotta find a way back
I would
to
say
the place where I belong.
They're one of the most energetic, but like it's a weird, not a weird energy, but it's a very like they command the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I feel that. I totally feel it. Very clean, just cut and dry, like right to the point.
But you don't even try. Wake up and take back your life.
Yeah, I totally hear Cavanna now. That's so funny. Respect.
My very favorite bands is Salmon from Gilroy, California,
Yeah.
and Pennywise.
All right,
Those
well,
are my two favorites of all time.
now we're gonna hear a Salmon track just to throw it in there because I want to hear the origins, and I know this band is definitely which one do you like more, Pennywise or Salmon?
Dude, well, I love both bands, but I'm real close friends with Lawrence. He's a teacher of mine. He's my bro. He actually baptized me. He's my minister. I am a religious person to a point, but like he is my minister. Like
Fuck yeah.
not just anybody.
Even before he baptized you, he was your
before he
minister in a way.
Yeah, and when I got into paranormal, when I joined the paranormal team and became a professional, he baptized me in Monterey Bay out of Santa Cruz, and it was such. I'm so thankful that Lawrence is in my life, and I love this guy so much. And
fuck it, let's hear it. Boom. Fucking Voltron, bitch. What's going on there? We haven't taken a good difficulties. Oh, hold on. Sorry, technical difficulties. Here we go. First time.
We do form. I be the arm, Aaron be the head, and ain't meaning no harm. Then there's Tom and Tom be the leg. Pat be the pot that produced the egg. Take, the semi click. Don't really understand, but with this nice stick, just one glance at our pants. You never a chance, we dance the same dance. So,
I mean, when I hear Salmon, I hear Meek Glow playing in Cavanna. Like, I know that for a fact. Like, it's fucking fact.
it's like hard for me to not rap along with him right
And
now.
that's okay.
Come on, y'all, get it down to a T and fly.
I think you ripped this song off, right?
I am a Salmon ripoff.
Hey, that's all right. I'm a fluff rip off, so it's okay. I'll own it, dude. I'll own it.
But it's inside. Be sick, commit. Gotta fight doing your own instruments. It's hard. Gotta be done. A lot more rewarding than the easy one. You gotta learn that lesson the best way. Have a form that acted only one day. Only you know you and what you gotta do. Either true through or you gotta pay your dues. You don't want those. Those how to suck. What goes around, nothing to do with luck. So God help you and I like ya. Pack that shit in the back of the car.
Yeah.
You're the man with the place of function. You're the man in the clan with the place of function. And don't get pissed on.
So what do you? Okay, my question is. So I hear the energy, I hear the vibes. I know the time, that this came out. Like, there was a lot of bands that were kind of putting that energy out. It's a certain kind of energy. There was a band here from down here called C Spot Groove that was a little more funk, a little more, not even Chili Peppers. I think they were a little more like, I don't know how to explain it. No, like even a little more, because I was getting into 311. I never really was a big Chili Peppers fan, but it was funk, like funk with rock. But I kind of hear it in this too. It's groove. It's all groove. But the groove was kind of a little more robotic in a way, I guess is the word I could use to describe it. And that's kind of how they sound. Not robotic in like, in a I don't know how to explain it. Like robotic, like it's just like I picture you moving the way you move, like you would move on stage, like you were almost doing the robot. Like,
Well, the song's Voltron.
no, I
which
know,
is a
and
robot.
even that, there you go, and that's what I'm saying. But it's like it's that kind of groove. It's even Pennywise kind of has that like real clean, real just, what I mean, like not
Locked
choppy in a bad way, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, like. Because there were so many bands that I could, like, I remember hearing Unwritten Law and all these, like, punk bands at that time. I never got into them. Even Blink, and like, Pennywise to me was more like in this style, like, and I think that's why you're
you
so
ever-
attracted to them.
Did you ever see Blink back in the day? Old school Blink
I
show?
never saw them. No. I only heard when Cheshire Cat came out, and my friend Sean would bump that shit, and I was just like,
That's a
I
killer
loved
album.
M&M's. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that's a sick. I like that song, but I was like, oh, they're sloppy as fuck. dude.
And
Like,
Carousel's a good song on that album.
yeah. So I knew them when they were Blink and not Blink 182. You know what I mean?
Too. That's
Like,
what's up.
but I didn't care. I was just like, all right, that's cool. It was, hear it at the parties and stuff, but I wasn't,
I had met Mark
Married to
Hoppus
it.
once. And
Okay.
that was a cool experience because Tom DeLonge and Mark Hoppus, they took a tour of where I was working, and
Oh shit! All right,
Yeah.
at that time. Okay.
and I remember they were with the producer Jerry Finn, who he had produced Green Day's Dookie. He passed away
Which
now.
that album I fucking love too.
Oh yeah, he was the guy to really break like pop punk into the
Right.
the airwaves. And well, Jerry Finn passed away, rest in peace. But that was those three guys came through, and I remember I'm working, I'm doing my thing while they're on their tour through the job, and I kind of like ask in their direction, like, hey, where's Travis at? Because Travis Barker wasn't with them, and Tom DeLonge kind of snubbed me. He just kinda gave me the cold shoulder. That's all
Whatever,
right.
dick.
That's all right. That's all right. But Mark Hoppus, he looked over and he answered me. He's on tour with the Transplants right now. And I'm like, oh, cool, dude. I go
Yeah.
back to work,
Yeah.
but and they carry on with the tour. But Mark keeps looking over at me like, come on, bro, let's talk, man.
He's like, you know what's up? Yeah.
Save me from this whack ass tour that I'm on. and so he kept looking over. So I walked over to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he wants to talk with me. So I started talking with him. And then my friend Jeremiah walks up at the
Yeah.
same time, dude. Like so all three of us like meet up. And Jeremiah's got an acoustic guitar in his hand. And he's like, yeah, I used to see you guys play at the Soul Kitchen in El Cajon. And he plays like an old school riff from like the Cheshire
Soul
Cat album.
Chicken, bro.
And like
damn.
Mark knew it was true because he played the riff.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah still has his old demo tape. And he was like, oh my goodness, dude, we were just talking about that. And like his mind was blown, dude. And he talked with us for like 10 minutes.
Fuck
And so that's my Mark Hoppus story. That dude is cool, man.
Yeah.
Tom dissed me, and he wound up getting into like paranormal.
Well, I've
and
always
UFOs
heard
and
Tom
stuff.
DeLonge is a dick. So
Yeah.
I'll call him out. I don't give a fuck. Never met the guy.
It's all good.
But anyway, that's cool. That's his deal. But that's cool. Fuck yeah, dude.
If you're interested in paranormal and UFOs, talk to me before you talk to Tom DeLonge. Just saying.
Hey.
Am I lying?
Hey. I was gonna say something, but I don't want to be an asshole.
Yeah, let's be nice.
Let's be nice. Yeah. Talk to Chris first.
Yeah, talk to me first.
Chris knows what's up. He's seen some shit. Hell yeah, man. So all right. So we decided to do this. Chris actually was hesitant to do an interview with me for different reasons, but he decided because I'm kind of trying something different. This whole Blue Dreamer broadcast thing is kind of a back to my roots approach to music, and so he agreed to do a podcast when he had told me. Now, I'm not putting you on the spot or anything, but I'm just saying he agreed to do a podcast with me when I told him it was going to be about music and not about conspiracies or whatever. So, how are you feeling about that now? Like,
This is actually the first music podcast I'd ever done in my life. And so
broadcast.
Oh, broadcast. You right. Fix that in
Just
editing.
kidding. We'll fix that in post. Fix it in post.
Everything I've done as far as that goes was, paranormal related.
For sure.
I had actually co-hosted Rock 105.3 with Missy twice.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And that was a cool experience. And
Fuck yeah.
that was music. And that actually kind of was preparation for what I wound up doing with paranormal and stuff.
Hell yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, I mean, so I did those 2 music interviews for Rock 105.3, and now this is the third one I've ever done. So this was definitely cool for me. And,
Dope.
And I want to like emphasize that like music is a great way of life for the youngsters out there. It's
For everyone.
for for the old guys and the youngsters. You don't have to top the charts to have a good life playing music. You're gonna make friends, and I was able to do the things I wanted to do. And some of my favorite, we shared some stories about celebrities and stuff, but some of my favorite memories have nothing to do with celebrities. Like one time there was a regular like Cavenna fan, and so I hung out with him once, and he started playing some of his music for me, not music he wrote, but like music that he likes, you know, so his playlist. And like I'm kicking it with him, and I kind of realized, I'm like, you got shitty taste in music. I didn't like say that, but I'm like this is one of my
break his heart, bro.
I didn't say it.
His
No,
dreams.
no, it was amazing for me because this was one of the biggest fans of my music, and then I wound up thinking he had shitty taste in music. So what does that say about me?
Nah.
But no, I loved it. I loved it.
For sure.
And then like this other time, we played at the Blarney Stone and just this dive bar in El Cajon that I love also. And
shout Blarney Stone.
This guy, I wish I would have got his name at least, but like I remember he was like some rich dude from Arizona, and he was wearing the Canadian tuxedo, like the jeans, the shirt, the jean jacket, and the blue jeans, like from head to toe.
Oh yeah.
And I remember he was all sloppy. He's all, I want to buy $300 worth of your shirts, and I tried to talk about
show me the cash. Show me the money first.
I was like, no, you don't, sir. You want to buy a couple shirts and a CD. That's what you want to buy. And he got all mad. He's like, it's my money. Don't tell me how to spend it. And I'm like, okay, you right. And then it's like, well, I got to go to the ATM, and I'm like, oh, he's not coming.
He's
back.
not coming back. He won't be back, bro.
But like. He came
I go
back.
to the ATM, taco shop.
He came back.
And then I'm going home.
That's what we thought.
Yeah.
Then he comes back and he's like, dudes, I was able to get $500 out. And we're like, oh, damn, dude. And like, we're like, dude, you're going to need trash bags. That's so much merch. And so luckily we had it, and like we sold him. Yeah, I sold one guy $500 worth of Cavenna merch in one night. And he wound up giving the shirts out to everybody in the bar.
Ah, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, dude. And like,
shout out to that dude.
Yeah, I wish I would have.
Canadian cowboy.
From Arizona.
Respect.
Well, like I went back to the Blarney Stone just a few weeks later with a friend. I wasn't performing or anything, just to have a few drinks. And the door guy checking IDs was wearing a Cavenna shirt, and I go, while he's checking my ID, I go, that's a cool shirt, and he gets mad at me, dude. He's like. It's a band that plays here all the time.
You talking shit, bitch?
Yeah, and I'm the guitar player. Yeah, he didn't even recognize me. He chewed me out for not knowing my own band's shirt, and that's one of those surreal memories too.
Yeah, like, that's so funny.
Those are my two favorite memories in my music career.
Respect. Yeah. That's a good fucking. That's a good shoot down right there. You're like, we talking shit, bitch. You're like, oh. Don't even tell me you're in the bag. You're like, sorry, sir.
I didn't tell him.
Apologies. My apologies.
I was like,
apologies.
I'll keep my eyes out for him.
Yeah, I'll check them out. I'll check them out if they come back, dude. Respect. Well, fuck yeah, man. Thank you. I have a feeling this is not going to be our first interview in this capacity because I think I want to hear some more stories, bro. So
there you go.
I think I'm gonna have you start a journal of your stories, and then just keep coming back, and we'll fucking go over them, bro. I'm sure you got plenty more stories, bro.
Hey, the listeners out there, check out the bands A Different Kind of Giant, and Jewelry Girl, and Enola Revin. Check out those bands.
Yeah, respect. I would ask if you have social media or anything, but I know you don't.
Yeah, leave me alone.
But if you really want to find out what Chris is up to, ask me.
Yeah, hit up Isaac.
And I'll let you know that he's doesn't care what you think. Much love and respect, my brother. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for telling your stories, and this will definitely be the first of many. So
that's what's up.
Anyone paying attention, much love and respect to you. Thank you. I hope this falls on good ears, and thank you for paying attention. Much love and respect. Peace.